I had flown to Israel on October 7th to cover the Hamas attacks, and we were near the Gaza border. There was a heavy barrage of missiles. We were too far away from a shelter to manage to reach the shelter, so we had to take cover in a ditch. And so we took cover in the ditch, and we were going live on television as well. The barrage ended. I apologized to the viewers for the fact that I was sort of lying on my side, and I continued with the live shot and continued talking about the area we were in, which was the sort of epicenter, the beginning of the attack, where Hamas had first crossed the border and started killing people. About one day later, I was told by someone, do you have any response to this video of you that's gone viral? And I just thought it was video of us jumping into the ditch and taking cover. And then someone sent me a video, and what a satire account had done was to take out the natural audio from this incident and put a voiceover of a director at the CNN headquarters. So you don't hear the sounds of the rockets or anything. You just hear someone, because you can see my producer in the background was on the phone, and you just hear this person saying, now tell her to jump into the ditch, and tell her to look frightened, and tell her to, do this and do that. And I watched it and I was like, that's ludicrous. It's satire. It's maybe not the time for this kind of satire, but I didn't think twice about it because it was so ludicrous. In fact, the person who created the clip actually put out a statement saying this was just intended as satire. This wasn't real. This is fake news, whatever you want to call it. But these things take on a life of their own. And it doesn't matter how many times Reuters or the New York Times or other well-established and respected news outlets say, or I say, or CNN says, this is a fake clip, this is not real, it wasn't even intended to look real, it came from a satire account. It takes on a life of its own, and it becomes incredibly dangerous. And it's been very frustrating for me because A, it's a distraction from the stories that we're trying to tell. I am not the story, and nor should I be the story. We can have a separate discussion about Western media coverage and narratives and all those things. But I, in a moment where I'm taking cover from rocket fire for 5 minutes and then continue doing what I was doing, should not be the story. And also, how can you argue with the idea of truth? I mean, when we are living in a world where reality doesn't even matter anymore, where your narrative is more important than the actual reality of a situation or of any given clip, then you know that you are facing a truly impossibly challenging environment as a journalist. Now, in this situation, CNN put out a statement, and I have tried to just get on with my job and do my work and tell the stories of the people who have been massacred, who are living under bombardment in Gaza, because that's my job. But yes, to answer your question, it makes it much more difficult. It's deeply unfortunate and potentially very dangerous.
We know fake news is very hard to face, and I think your story is amazing in showing exactly that. How would you evaluate our measures to combat it? And somehow there feels to be a huge imbalance between the assault we're under and what we're actually doing in response. So I'm curious how you see our, how serious we're taking this, and whether what we're doing is enough, and if not, what could be done more. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. I think, honestly, the way I describe it is it's like playing whack-a-mole. I don't know if you ever played that game when you're a kid and you whack one thing and another pops up, and then you whack that and another one. And you keep trying to whack down all the lies and all the fake clips and all the fake news, and you can't. You can't, because it's algorithmically reproducing at a rate that individuals cannot inherently keep up with. So clearly, the tools that we need have to be technological tools, because as individuals, we can't combat this alone. And I think that technology companies have a really big part to play in this, of course. And I know that many of them, of course, are already trying to help navigate these spaces and keep spaces safe and put disclaimers on. And I will say, with regards to the fake clip about me, if you went on, I believe, Twitter or X as it's now called, you would see, if you shared the clip, underneath it would say, by the way, this is a satire clip, or, you know, it was like a little note from X. At the same time, Elon Musk himself shared the clip with 2 laughing emojis, right? So you have this strange push-pull between efforts being made by some parties and then efforts being made by others to the contrary. And so how do you get everybody on the same page to agree with how to meet these challenges and deal with them when we don't any longer really have the same idea of the possibility of a shared truth, or at least shared facts? Because I think we can understand that truth can be subjective. Truth has many interpretations. Facts are just facts. Did it happen? Did it not happen? Is this a cell phone? Yes, it is. So I really hope that, you know, governments and tech companies, and I know they are already undertaking this, because it is going to be amplified exponentially with the rise of AI. You are going to see deep fakes proliferating every sort of space online. How are we going to create guardrails to protect, forget me, but protect consumers of information, so that they have a sense that, okay, maybe I'm getting it from this outlet and this outlet is a little bit biased in this way or that way, but at least I know it's real. It happened. This is a person. This is what actually took place. And I'll be honest with you, it's a good question you ask. And in this moment, I am genuinely fearful that we do not yet have the tools to appropriately meet this moment and meet the challenges of this moment.